gentlemen. There we go. Alright, so I'll wait for P1 Don to beat me down to a 3-7 now, not quite. Yeah, NxtGen FASTR League, so the spec series sort of follows on what I sort of hinted last week, that this is sort of the direction that NxtGen have been sort of aiming at, doing a lot of spec series stuff on GT Sport, just to make it all about the driver really. So these guys are all in the same car. They are restricted to the BMW M4. They all have to use the same tyre compound, so they're all restricted to softs. So basically it just makes it all about what the driver can do with the car on the track really. I've been out a few cycle laps. Nerd promises to be quite an interesting race for these cars. The back end's rarely stable in sector 2, so if you're pushing too hard, you're gonna, mistakes can easily be made. You can run. It's the Smoker. How you doing? Actually, I've just noticed on my stream manager, by the way, that while we were away, we had our second subscriber on Twitch, which is a big kudos, big grats, big love and hugs to Ginger Paddy, whoever you are. If you're in the chat tonight, come and say hello. -2. I was using -1 brake balance to the front, just to get that front end dialed in sector 2, because you downhill a lot, so you don't want the back end going out all over the shop. P-Gib, have you recovered yet from Thursday? I'm good, mate, I'm good. I've only just recovered after that F1 race earlier on. Yeah, so this is round 3 live from Nürburgring GP circuit. WRC yesterday, F1 today, emotionally drained. Mate, honestly, firstly, I've never watched really an F1 race and actively supported a Mercedes. That's the first time I've ever done that. Yeah, just an absolute roller coaster, mate. Always going to get a penalty for that. Is P1 done? That's enough. In fact, we'll probably take you on board for a lap with someone actually. Bifter. No Philo, no, it doesn't appear to be Philo. We'll take you on board someone with Quali, because Quali's going to start soon. Danzo, how you doing, mate? Are you on track yet? You're in this lobby, aren't you? There you are. There's Danzo. Yellow car, can't miss him. Yeah, my God. Lando as well. Like, Lando had a great first lap and then just never really improved it. I am absolutely he's going purple now. I am absolutely ecstatic for Checo. The fact that he's not got a drive next season is an absolute travesty. Yeah, so, but gutted for George, absolutely gutted for him. It was like his big opportunity to shine tonight. He just got absolutely nailed on by the team. But he's just proved he can do it. He led the race comfortably, managed his tyres quite well. Then he had that setback, recovered well from it. Then he had the other setback and still got back into the points from pretty much the back of the grid. So, yeah, you've got to hand it to him, and I kind of hope he gets the chance as well in Abu Dhabi. As we're just about to watch P1 Don dip into the 202s for the first time this evening, I think. Now he's got a sight for the track. I reckon this got a 202 lap written all over it. Yeah, 202.7. So P1 Don finally represents. I was annoying the guys because I was setting 203 lap times. Don't know why that's annoying, but like P1 Don on Luke Mitchell and a lot of the guys in here, to be fair, I'd absolutely piss my lap times. But yeah, I'm still a bit like catch up with last week's. Yeah, I'll be whacking it on good old YouTube. In fact, I need to just go in here. Yeah, I'll be on YouTube, mate. Don't worry about that. I'll make sure I'll put it up on YouTube. I appreciate you dropping it. I dropped into the race you were comes in on earlier. It looked quite good. Yeah, the thing about P1 Don, mate, you can do that lap time every lap. It's just what he's like. I've always rated P1 Don, absolutely always rated him, and I've raced with him a lot and watched a lot of his racing as well. I've always rated him as one of the best drivers out there. It was made up for Perez. Will be an interesting decision for Mercedes when it comes to contract talks next season. If the BMW is at 10%, it's going to be a cracking race. Yeah, man. I don't know whose contract's up. The question though, does that devalue Hamilton? Because he's asking like 40 mil a year. Don't get me wrong, he's a marketable person. Like that's, I think you not only pay for the person to drive your car, but you pay for a brand. You know what he brings to the sport in terms of people that will come and watch him because he's, you know, British and all that. So yeah. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely the most valuable driver on the grid, is Hamilton. Despite the fact I don't like him as a person, you cannot deny he's a fantastic driver. Today proved it. Pretty much is just the car as well. I got a landed PS4 man blew up on Wednesday. But you know, all these people that do say, oh, it's just the car, you've got to drive the thing. It's not one car. You know, I don't think you could put any driver on the grid in that car and they get like podiums and stuff. That just won't happen. Anyway, so it's an introduction to tonight's racing. So this is NxtGen's FASTR BMW League. We are about to hit qualifying. We will jump on board for a hot lap with someone in just a moment. So we'll wait and see who gets out. So Luke Doherty's first out on track. Yeah, so this is a BMW M4, as I introduced it earlier, is a little bit of a spec series. They're two short races, so they are 10-minute long races, I think. We've got a 10-minute qualifying session, which gives us a grid for race number 1, and then we have a reverse grid race number 2. So it'll be a nice short stream, and in theory, the racing, well, I say in theory, the racing has been pretty bang on. We had Laguna Seca last week, and that was absolutely nuts. Just that was a race that kind of had everything. And we've got Nürburgring tonight as well. Nürburgring does tend to produce good racing a lot of the time because it encourages mistakes. So we've got a lot of drivers out now for qualifying. We're looking at about a pole time will or should be a mid 2:02. It's probably what you're looking for a target pole time to be. Your race pace should be relatively similar. I mean, you don't have tyre wear or anything to care about, so the reason why a lot of people will say qualifying and race pace are different is when you have tyre wear and fuel depletion, because in the race you'll obviously be full of fuel and you'll have to worry about saving your tyres, so you'll coast a lot and you'll generally do things just to control the pace of the race rather than single lap balls to the wall sort of thing. Whereas in quali, that's exactly what quali is designed for. Quali is designed for you to go absolutely crazy. So we'll jump on board a driver. As I was rating him, let's jump on board P1 Don in a moment, as he's when he sets a lap. We'll just talk you around a lap in Nürburgring, show you what the guys are going to be up against. Hopefully Don doesn't have too much traffic to deal with. So let's jump on board the roof of P1 Don then, as he negotiates that car there. So he's got past Moss. So start of your lap, widen your entry as much as possible. You can hug that barrier on the right hand side there, but just be careful not to tap it and lose momentum. You can use the green AstroTurf on the outside as well. It does have a little bit of grip on there, so you're not going to spin out. Down the main straight, most of your overtakes are going to happen down into T1. It's a downhill braking zone, so you need to brake a little bit earlier than you anticipate, probably about 105 metres to get it nice and carefully down into second gear. Just clip the apex there. You don't want to go any further over because it drofts away very suddenly and that will unsettle the rear end of the car. Coming down into the Mercedes arena, then this for me the most difficult the most difficult corner. I choose to widen my exit there. Don takes a much narrower line. The reason why I widen it gives me a better line into this one, but Don's nice and tidy. Coming downhill into the second sector then. So the second sector is all about camber and brake management. So running it down fourth. I carry third through here. Don chooses to go down to second, down to the hairpin. Again, downhill braking zone. So you need to be careful on the brakes, careful of understeer, but the hairpin does slightly camber inwards, so you can carry more speed here than you think. Drivers will go in there upwards of 50 miles an hour and exit about 70. Up through the Schumacher S's and flat out in these BMWs. You are quite nice and solid, and you can ride the curbs as well. So you don't have to stay away from those curbs. Flat out through here, up towards the top of the hill. Love this section of corners, and braking at 100 metres, just carry the speed through this first part. The second part just needs a little dab of brakes just to get the front end to bite, and then you can carry that speed out, and then again down the hill. You go down, then you go back up to the heavy braking zone that enters the final chicane. Braking about 100 metres here, and you can cut a lot of that final chicane. You can pretty much get all four wheels onto these curbs, as P1 Don's doing there, without any punishment at all. Nice and tidy lap this from P1 Don. Again, look to widen your exit into the final corner. As we might get a nice little toe off Danzo just to the line as well. As Philo sets a 2:02.9 on his first lap, Don's going to set us a 2:03.0. So that's enough for P2, for P1 Don, and for the time being. Philo just 0.04 of a second faster. Luke Mitchell posting a 2:04.0 on the board as well. Moss P4 at the minute for Moss. He's got a 2:04.1. Luke Doherty said he was a little bit rusty in the pre-game chat. 2:04.6 for Luke. We've got Duds in the house as well. 2:05.1 for Duds at the minute. Dark Sights with a 2:05.6 on his first attempt. Danzo 2:06.1 for Danzo. He's very closely followed by Bifter. Bifter's on a 2:06.2, a late stand-in for Bifter, I think. So in terms of practice, he'll probably be a little bit rusty. Shadow Stalker 2:06.3 for Shadow Stalker. 18:05 2:07.6. Big Z is in the Care Bears livery car. I love that car. 2:10.9, so in the pits where he loves to sit. We did just see a decent time flash up a moment ago, and that was TP86, 2:05.9 for TP86. Someone who has performed well in the championship so far, but some of the results just haven't gone his way. So we're about to see the second round of hot laps. Wace is yet to leave the pits, so he's got about 4 minutes to do so. So he needs to leave really within the next couple of minutes in order to get round and get a lap time set. 2:02.9 is proving the benchmark to be beaten. Quick check of the live timing screen, see if anyone's doing that. So P1 Don and Luke Mitchell both setting purple sectors. Philo's not going to beat his time this time. He picked up a little bit of a penalty for a minor track cut infringement. Luke Mitchell 2:02.9 for Luke Mitchell, then he beats Philo by 600ths of a second. And P1 Don getting a nice little toe down the line as well. Can he improve? It's a 2:02.9 for the time being, but it's a 2:03.1 for Don that time around. Potentially being held up a little bit by traffic, but it's the usual suspects at the top of the grid. Moss just bailing that lap, I think. He's widening his exit, he's going for it again this time around. Dark Sides puts himself P5 with a 2:04.3. It's a nice lap time there for the faster liveried car. I say that as that is, Sykes, he might correct me on this, I might get flamed for this, but I think that car livery is the one that they run in real life. I might be wrong on that one. Disclaimer, Mark, please don't kill me. I think so. Anyway, so a couple of minutes remain. A lot of drivers have shown us what they've got. It is. I thought I'd read that somewhere. TP86 Racing improves on his time, but it's still only good enough for P9 for TP86. It's not a massive. Well, it was a massive improvement, 6 attempts. But Duds with a 2:05.1 for the time being is doing enough to hold P8. 18:05, good representation for 18:05. Massive improvement on that second flying lap. 2:05.0 for 18:05. He's just 4 attempts off Luke Doherty in P6. Luke Doherty though is is into the 204s and consistently into the 204s as well. Must have had that lap 3 time deleted for a track cut infringement, because this is lap 2 time is the one that stands. Boys, you're not cutting that chicane enough, you can take way more off it than that. You can tell the P1 drivers because their liveries are always really loud. Luke Doherty then, that did look tidy there though, that 2:03.9 for Luke Doherty. He's getting in the groove of this. P4 for Luke. Shoves Moss down to the 3rd row of the grid. And Don, first driver into the 202s. Is he the first driver? No, the 2nd driver into the 202s. He's 202.8 for P1 Don. That's a similar sort of time as to what he was doing in practice, so we know he's got that in. Luke Mitchell, 2:02.9 for Luke Mitchell. He'll be going for one last smash at it. TNR Philo then, 2:02.9 for Philo. So he's just 0.08 of a second. This reminds me of the Megane race the other day where there was similar gaps between the top 3. Purple sector 1. Yeah, just 0.08 of a second separate the top 3 drivers. Hope Luke doesn't get too into the groove racing him tomorrow. Well, he's on the groove at the minute. He's in the 203s, is Luke Doherty. He's only getting faster as well, setting personal best set to 2 times. TP86 Racing finally posts an improved time. It's 2:04.6 for him, so he's getting faster and faster. But he's been consistently lumping about half a second off his time every lap, so he's getting into it now. 18:05 failed to improve that time round. Dudds has got a penalty. He'll need to shake that Bigsy. Gets round some traffic there, but he is down at his time. His Bigsy Dan's out. I haven't seen his times posted. Let's have a quick check of the timing screen. So Luke Mitchell going to be the next to cross the line, set a personal best set to 3 and an overall best set to 1, though he's getting holed up now behind Luke Doherty in that P4 spot. Luke though quite quick himself, shouldn't hold Luke Mitchell up too much. Well, let's see what time this is for Luke Mitchell. It needs to be to 2:02.8. That's a 2:02.7 for Luke Mitchell. So even with the traffic there, posts a stunning lap time, 2:02.769 for the time being is his pole time. Don though beats that with a 2:02.6. P1 Don right at the gas. The timer had elapsed. The checkered flag has dropped. Philo set his time as well. So unless someone really comes to pass with a stunning lap time, P1 Don's 2:02.6. As Sykes improves with a 2:03.7. This has to be under a 2:03.7 to beat him. It's not going to be. It's 2:03.9, so it improves. But Dark Sykes puts himself row 3 of the grid, right at the gas for 2:03.7, a great lap time. But the story here is P1 Don right at the gas getting 2:02.6 by just under a tenth. Is Luke Mitchell behind, and then TNR Philo in the end was 3 tenths off a pole time. But we do know that TNR Philo has had absolutely no practice at all. But Luke Doherty and Dark Sykes make up row 3 of the grid. Moss and TP86 are going to be row 4. 18:05 and Dudds row 5. And then we've got Danzo, Shadow Stalker, Bigsy, Bifter and Wace, who failed to set a lap time and is currently doing donuts on the pit straight. So no lap time set for Wace, who's driving the wrong way down the order. Don't really understand what you're doing there, Wace, but all power to you, mate. Always is with these peak. It's like the Megans, people just get into a groove of it. You've got to remember, a lot of these guys don't really practice for this. So you just start, like your lap 1, you never really push too hard. You just get a benchmark on the board and you just start pushing. That's evident there, 2:02.6. Lovely time by P1 Dom, but sets us up for a really good race. So drivers will have to be careful down into turn 1. It's going to be a short race, this one. We're only going to see 10 minutes, so about 5 laps. So not too much in terms of opportunity for these drivers to make moves. They're going to have to make this start count. finger as always is resting on the replay button, hovering over that replay marker just in case anything does happen. We've got our lights on, all lights are off, and the drivers get away, or everyone gets away nicely, I think. No one bolted off the line too spectacularly. Luke Mitchell ahead going into turn 1. P1 Don got away just a little bit slower. We've got Philo going deep. That is going to push Don very wide, and that might give Luke Doherty a chance to get through into P3 as well. There's cones flying everywhere. Nice move by Luke Doherty. Darkside trying to go down the inside of Moss. Going on back here, we've got, I think that was Luke Doherty involved in that. We can go back and have a look. A little bit further back here, we've got TP86 Racing P8. What else is going on? Not too much at the back, to be fair. It's all about the front, guys. Top 3 started to escape already. It's Luke Mitchell leading the way. We've got Philo P2, P1 Don in P3. Let's go and have another quick look at what happened a moment ago. So that's Luke Doherty, you can see there. It's just, I think, yeah, that looked to me just like lag, you know. That was just purely a lag bounce. But it's Philo making the moves. He's going to try and go around the outside at the Schumacher S. And he's got that move made on Luke Mitchell. Then we've got P1 Don holding P3 at the minute. He's just watching that battle unfold in front of him. All the while these guys are starting to gap the cars behind then. P1 Don runs wide. That's going to lose him a few temps going up the hill. That might put Luke Doherty on his case coming into the chicane, but I think with an 8 temps gap at the minute he should be fine from a dive bomb. Is Philo having to defend to Luke Mitchell going into the final chicane for the first time. Nice and tidy by Philo there. I think he's going to come out of that one okay. P1 Don loves to fight another day as well. We've got Sykesy and Moss fighting away for P5. Sykes was very compliant there to let Moss have that place, and I think what he might be trying to do is go for the old slipperoo down the main straight. No immediate threat from behind for Dark Sykes, and Moss doesn't defend that one. Should be a nice easy overtake for the faster car down the insides, but Moss really late on the brakes. Beautiful defended there by Moss. He just got on the brakes later. So although in theory that strategy should have worked for Dark Sykes, Moss was just a lot cleaner on the brakes that time round. Dodds is trying to eye up a move forward for those two, so is TP86 Racing. Danzo's dropped back a little bit from that pack. He's P9 at the minute, Waste from the back of the grid, up to P10. We've got Shadowstock P11, then Bigsy in the best livery on the grid by a country mile in P12. Just ahead of Bifter and 1805, bringing up the back of the pack for the time being. But the story is right at the top. It's Luke Mitchell versus Philo. These two have been pretty much inseparable. P1 Don's dropped back a little bit now. He's had a bit of a scruffy lap as P1 Don. Oh, pole sitter, don't forget. Didn't get away from the line brilliantly. Got caught up in a little bit of a scuffle with Luke Doherty and just dropped back a little bit since. He's got some work to do as P1 Don, but as these races have revealed, anything can happen, and it usually does. This format does encourage drivers to be a little bit more aggressive than they otherwise normally would be. They've only got a few laps to make the moves count, and it essentially just means that if you're gonna be fighting at the top, you really need to make your moves stick. As Luke Mitchell is going to try and make happen on Philo for the time being. He's going to try and hang it around the outside, go for the exit speed. He'll then hopefully be in the slipstream down the main straight. This is on board with Luke Mitchell. As you look at the back of Philo, Luke Mitchell got a wash of understeer though coming out of that corner, and that's going to set him back a little bit. Philo is able to just run away with this a little bit. Coming down into turn 1, that's let P1 Don catch up. So Don now just 6 temps back. Luke Doherty says he's done no practice as well. Hanging on with these boys is Luke Doherty, so he's P4. These guys are gapping everyone behind by a significant rate. So the top 4 now just really beginning to in a nice way. They're just buggering off, really. Luke might have to make up a bit of a penalty for that there, though. That is frowned upon in GT Sport. How dare you go near the track limits, Luke Doherty, and here's a penalty. There we go, a full second penalty for Luke Doherty, which he's got another 5 minutes to get rid of, but he's going to have to think about trying to get rid of that at some point. The good news is, though, the next car behind him is over 2.5 seconds away. So Moss and Stark Sykes doing Luke Doherty a bit of a favour here. They're fighting away. And we've got Duds and TP86 Racing just trying to trade places. Duds down the inside. TP86 going to try and hold it for the cutback. Gets his car on the inside. It was a lovely drive out of that by TP86 Racing. But going side by side for the Schumacher is not recommended. And the Canadian that lives on the Isle of Wight backs out of it, as you will have no doubt noticed. Hard track to burn naturally. Yeah, there's a couple of places you can coast, but you're gonna lose. You'll lose a position if you know what I mean, if you get it wrong. TP86 Racing winning that battle for the time being. Just come back to that because it looked like there was a fight about to kick off. Let's check in with the top guys. It is still Philo. He's 6 tenths ahead of Luke Mitchell, who's 8 tenths ahead of P1 Don, who's 7 tenths ahead of Luke Doherty. Those guys seem to be pretty chill for the time being. Duds up the inside of TP86 Racing. These guys are enjoying a nice fight, these guys. This battle for 7th is going to go right to the wire off here. See ahead of your screen as well, Dark Side's closing in on Moss. TP86 there, nice and late on the brakes, got that move made down into the hairpin. Let's jump on board and just see how TP86 did that. So pretty much side by side, your braking mark is about 110 metres. TP86 braked on time, just using his gears to good effect to get the car slowed down there. Duds is obviously using the Fubuki windscreen wiper strap, which I can't promise always works, but it obviously works for Fubuki. Weiss up to P9 then from the back of the grid. He's having a very impressive race so far. Keep checking in on these guys at the back. So 1805, who was last, is up to P11. So sorry I've missed that 1805. But not only have you got past these guys, but you gapped them by a lot. So I'm guessing something has happened there. So Philo then leading the way. He's got about a second gap now. We're coming towards the end of this race. I should imagine we've got one more lap remaining. Luke Mitchell holding P2. P1 Don starting to come under pressure from Luke Doherty now. Luke's got that penalty to get rid of, and he's still got 1.3 seconds of it, so he's not managed to get rid of any yet. Now, I guess the conundrum for Luke is if he loses the penalty now, like if he burns it now, he's definitely not going to get past P1 Don, 100%. But if he gets past P1 Don and tries to burn it using defensive driving, he might just stand a chance of getting a podium here. But P1 Don, as we know, he's no slouch. He got a podium here, so not a podium. He got the pole position here. Sorry, so we know he's not a slow guy. One more lap for Dark Sights to try and get past Moss. Very late on the brakes there is Dark Sights. He aims to avoid TP86 Racing after dropping Duds a little bit. Duds has got a little bit of a penalty now. It's put him under pressure from Weiss. Now Weiss, for the time being, is a man on a charge. You see Duds there goes deep. Weiss is nice and tidy around this middle sector. Duds might pick up a penalty for that little track cut infringement he just did there. Indeed he has. He's picked up a half-second penalty. He's got the rest of this lap to lose that. Weiss then can probably just hold station. Not that he's going to do that. He's going to go for the move down the inside of the hairpin. Let's keep an eye on our leaders and Philo. 8 tenths is the gap now between him and Luke Mitchell. Luke Mitchell's got a 2-second gap over P1 Don. Don's still under pressure from Luke Doherty. Don knows knows he's got that penalty, so he doesn't need to worry about him, to be fair. We are seeing a fair bit of lobby glitching kicking in there. But as it stands, Luke Doherty's got to make something happen here if he wants that podium spot, but he's not really got any time left to lose that penalty. So I'm struggling to see anything other than a P1 Don podium. A lot of lobby glitching going on here. Lots of lobby glitching going on here. But TNR Philo is your race winner then for the first race of round 3. Luke Doherty brings home P2, P1 Don P3, and the pole position. Luke Doherty P4, Moss P5, just bringing it past Dark Sykes at the end, who struggled to get past. TP86 Racing, a hard fought race from P7. P8 for Wace in the end. He did get past Duds. He brings home P9. P10 belongs to Bigsy. He finished just behind Doug's 18.05. P11 biffed at P12. Danzo's gonna cruise it in P13, and then Shadow Stalker P14 to finish off your classified standings. So there we are then. Suddenly the game's deleted Philo's livery. MMR LM, thanks for the follow. I'm guessing that's you, Luke. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate that. So what do we think of that then? We've got another race, so stick around. So the race results here will be turned upside down, so it will be on pole position Shadow Stalker. So Shadow Stalker and Danzo are going to line up on the front row of the grid. Then it's biffed at 18.05. Bigsy, Duds, Wace, TP86, Dark Sykes, Moss, Luke Doherty, P1 Don, Luke Mitchell, and Philo. So the fast lads, as we call it, they've got a lot of work to do in this next 10 minutes. So we normally have about a minute or so. Be interested to see how the drivers come through from the back. Not easier. No, and they've only got 5 laps to do it as well. Yeah, so they haven't got long. A few little mistakes. Yeah, Don, but you held it, mate. The problem was the start, really, I think. But your chances now. Tried to serve my penalty a few times. Yeah, well, it's hard track to serve it. I don't think it will. I don't think it will burn it very easily. You literally have to brake on the start-finish line. I did a endurance race at this track, and at the same, I kept picking them up at the same place you did, actually, Luke. Yes, Sykes, there's a reason why I'm not reading that chat. And I am instead diverting attention away from it. Yeah, just drivers arguing. But in fairness, Sykes, right, you stick a microphone on any driver, or give them an outlet, they're going to vent, you know. It will happen, mate. It will happen. So yeah, that follow from, I'm guessing it's Luke. Takes us to 94 total. So just 6 away from my follower goal of 100. Not bad for some absolute donut that's just sat in his living room, streaming directly from a PS4, no PC or any fancy equipment, and just a keyboard plugged into a PS4. And so appreciate every single one of you for dropping a follow. I know we tend to get quite a few viewers per stream as well, which is nice. I don't do this for anything other than just because I want to. You know, I'm not aiming for like Twitch fame or anything, but it's nice that 94 people have clicked a little button that has made me feel good over the time. So I like that, I appreciate it, thank you. Yeah, so things to watch. In fact, we'll get on track, we'll have a look at some cars, shall we? Things to watch out for. Let's have a think. So, I don't want to just cliche it to the guys from the back trying to get through, because that's always a bit of a story. I would imagine they'll probably pick up a few places at the start. I would imagine they will do. Cheers, P-Gib. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm way more interested in the midfield battles. You have to cover the leaders because that's the important bit for the championship, but I'm way more interested in midfield battle 9 times out of 10. He's using the toilet. Shake it, Luke. Shake it. So race 2 coming up. Another 10-minute sprint race then in the BMW M4 League. This is the reverse grid race. So the results that we've just seen from the race before are going to be turned upside down, and this is confirmation of that starting grid. Then we've got Shadow Stalkers starting from the pole position. Danzo, though, has got to be a favourite to get into that T1 in the lead, though. He's got the inside line. He needs a good start here, does Danzo, and get up inside Shadow Stalkers and get up in his grill. We'll keep an eye on what the guys from the back can do. Cheers, Luke. Appreciate it, man. So everyone gets away well then. Danzo does get a good start. And he's immediately on the charge then. That Shadow Stalker down to P2 as we go into turn 1 for the first time. We're 4 wide at the back. Sykes just has to negotiate an absolute horde of cars as Luke Mitchell there taking out all the cones. Oh, we've got some contact between Sykes and P1 Don. We will go back and have a look at that. Let's see who the big winners out of that really are. The big winners out of that really has got to be Philo, who's trapped on the inside. He had to basically go on the escape road. He's going to pick a little bit of a penalty up for that. But he's got enough time to burn it. He's got to burn it straight away actually. Luke Dox is trying to battle his way through the field. He's got Waste in front of him. He's absolutely determined. Moss nearly getting it wrong there. But let's just go back and have a look at what happened. If I can. My keyboard's not working for some reason. 1 minute. I need to just do this. I can't review that, I don't think, because it won't have saved it. No, I haven't got replay available. It does this from time to time. See what I told you about the start, some doofus in his living room. So I don't know what happened between P1 Don and Sykesy, but yeah, it's basically put P1 Don right at the back of the grid. We've got Luke Mitchell and Philo trying to, we can't go on board either, so if I can do this and use my controller, I'm going to have to just abandon the keyboard for this time round and we'll just go back to controller. So Luke Mitchell's trying to burn his penalty as well, but he's suffering with the same thing. We've got a car that's been reset there. That was Shadow Stalker. He was at the top of the grid, don't forget. We've got Wace and Biggsy fighting it out. Biggsy's in the Care Bears liveried car. He's got the inside, the slipstream advantage for the main straight. And that's 1 lap in the bag. That was a long lap. Felt like an absolute eternity. We've got Waste then defending to Biggsy. Biggsy's going to have to try and go for the cutback here if he's got any success of getting past Waste, who does go deep into that corner. And then we've got Luke Doherty P5. We've got Moss P6 defending away to TNR Philo, who got rid of that penalty nice and early. He's now cleared for attack. Luke Mitchell's still got a little bit of a penalty as Philo tries to dive down the inside of Moss, but that door was shut pretty quickly. Luke Mitchell currently running P8, clear, 2 seconds clear of 18.05 in P9, Biff the P10, TP86 P11, Dark Sykes P12, P1 Don, who was off the track entering turn 2, is 12 seconds off the lead of the race for the time being, and Shadow Stalker after that reset down in P14. So P1 Don's got a lot of work to do here. Danzo is still leading the way though. He's got a 4 tenth advantage to Duds. See the car stream up past the Schumacher S's. And we are already nearing the halfway point of this race. And with TNR Philo at the minute down in P7, this is given a good opportunity for other drivers to take the limelight here. The current limelight holder is Danzo, but Duds is definitely looking to get that crown off him. Danzo decides not to defend into there. Duds is going to go up the inside. A little bit of a lobby glitch on entry there though. There's a Blake. That was definitely just a lobby glitch. That's going to let Wace up, and the Care Bears car up the inside as well. That's Danzo's car that's just sort of throwing itself around from time to time, but it's been happening with every single car. It isn't just Danzo. We've got an absolute horde of BMWs now. This is like the M25, just trying to get past one another down into turn 1. Duds is leading the way. Then we've got Waste down in P2, defending the way to Danzo. Bigsy with a lovely move up the inside as well. That was beautifully done by the Care Bears car, although he's got the worst outside line, and Danzo's just able to stretch it back on the inside. Then Luke Doherty's trying to take advantage of all this, but I don't know if the drivers have seen what I'm seeing, but these cars are all over the shop. Biggsy's been spun out, he recovers it nicely. This could be my internet that's doing this, but it's hugely unlikely given how bad GT Sports bloody servers have been lately. So your race leader, as we start the halfway point of the race, where the hairpin pretty much marks the middle part of the lap, and that is Wace leading the way as we enter that mark of the race. It's Duds v Danzo for P2. We've got Luke Doxey trying to get involved in that as well. So the special visor cam that we've got for Luke Doherty at the minute, as we can see, there's a car trying to barge its way to the outside. That's Philo. Luke Doherty trying to battle Philo on the outside there. That's so we've got some more car lobby glitching going on. Luke Doxey's found himself in the middle of an absolute firefight though, but he's holding up to the pressure well. Philo's going to try and go on the attack here, but Luke Mitchell also trying to get involved in this fight. And it's all kicking off. I wish I'd replay, because Danzo's off now. And to me that just looked like one huge lobby glitch, but that's let Philo up to P2, Luke Doherty P3, Luke Mitchell P4 now. Again, with a great opportunity with P1 Don down at the back. This is a great opportunity for these guys to pick up some major points. If all the drivers are seeing this glitching. Yeah, well, I don't know if you've seen it, Pika, but the GT Sport lobbies have just been awful lately. They have just been dreadful. Or it might just be PlayStation servers with like the PS5 launch. It feels like that might be the case. Who knows? All that fighting's helped P1 Don. He's got a lot of work to do. He's 9 seconds off the lead of the race, but he's gathering time on all the cars ahead. And there's a big cluster of cars here, so P1 Don can pick some spaces back. Philo is just 1.7 seconds off the lead of the race now. He's bringing Luke Doherty and Luke Mitchell, the two Luke brothers. Luke Doherty there with another 1.6 second penalty. He's going to struggle to burn that. He's going to struggle to burn that as he struggled last time out. So defend as he might, he's going to struggle to get rid of that. While he's got a little bit of slipstream, I guess, if he's getting any from Philo, he can just try a little bit of lifting and coasting to shake it, but I'm guessing he did that last time and it didn't work. So Philo takes another slice of time out of Wace. Setting purple sector times as he goes, but Wace has just got one more lap to do in the lead. At the very lead. Away for that P3 spot at the minute. Now Luke Mitchell trying everything he can, but on my screen Luke Doherty's car's all over the damn place, so I don't know where to place himself. It's getting worse. What is going on? What is happening? There we go, it just reset everyone midway through. Right, Philo's got a lap. He's got a lap to do to try and get past Wace. Luke Doherty's got a lap to try and defend to Luke Mitchell, but it might be in vain because he's got this 1.6 second penalty, and that rounds up in GT Sports. It'll just round up to 2 seconds. So where would that put him? At the minute, that would put him probably P5. Might put him, yeah, Moss would get him as well at the minute if he doesn't do anything about that 1.6 seconds. Right, can Wace hold on? This is it. Another minute's worth of racing. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 corners to go for Wace to hold on. He's got a TNR Philo breathing down his neck. 8 tenths is the gap between these two drivers. Philo pretty much from the back of the grid. Wace, who's had a great race so far, he's done a great job. Luke Doherty's still holding off Luke Mitchell, but you do feel it's in vain. Moss keeping up the pace. He might pick up a place here, well, Moss, if that penalty doesn't get burned. Bigsy in the Care Bears car, P6 at the minute. He's got a penalty, but he doesn't need to worry about it because Duds is 3.5 seconds away. P1 Don has recovered a lot of his early lost time, up to P8 now. P1 Don, 18.05, P9. Dark Sykes, P10 for him. TP86 Racing, P11. Danzo, P12. Bifter, P13. Shadow Stalker, P14. But the story for me is all at the top. Can Philo do anything here about Wace? Wace goes defensive. Philo's going to try and go for the sweeping line around the outside. The flag drops and Wace takes the checkered flag for the first time this season. He's just beat Philo to the line. Luke Doherty did finish P3, but with that penalty he's going to chunk him all the way down to P5 with Luke Mitchell and Moss coming in ahead of him on the timesheets. Bigsy P6, Duds P7 for him, 18.05, P8 for him. P1 Don in the end, very close finish with Dark Sykes, P9 and P10, TP86 Racing P11, Danzo P12, Bifter P13, and then Shadow Stalker, last class 5 finisher in P14. I just wish I could see what happened at the start between Don and Sykesy, but I'm afraid I can't tell you. But well done to Wace for taking the victory there. A great start. He solidified that with a start, to be honest. You get a good start in a reverse grid race, and if you can just get out at the front and let everyone else fight, that's what you need to do. And that's what Wace did there. The guys from the back, as P-Gib predicted, kind of hard to get through the pack. But yeah, that was it for that's it for week 3. Where are we next time? I have got it on a file somewhere. 1 second. I need to get more organised with this stuff. Definitely need to get more organised with this stuff. Sykesy sends me all the stuff, but I never save it. Brands Hatch next week. Ooh, that's going to be juicy in a rear-wheel drive BMW. Yeah, one more lap and he had you, but yeah, you still had to put yourself there, mate. You know what I mean? Yes, that's it, Philo. Nice short racing. Brands next week, yeah. God, don't know why I'm non-lash. Wish I could tell you, Danzo. Wish I could tell you, dude. The cars just went everywhere. It was I'm trying not to swear on the stream because Twitch will ban me, but it was a Toto Wolff said it in the F1 post-race show. It was a show. One more lap and he'd have me. Yeah, he would have done, mate. He would have done. He's fast, that Philo, isn't he? Love that. Well, I hope it works next week. We don't get any horrible lobby glitching. That's all I hope. Right. Well, thanks for joining me, peeps. I really do appreciate your company on this lowly Sunday evening. Join us next week for more BMW action. We're going to be back at Brands Hatch with the guys again for a nice little short stream. What else have we got coming up on Wednesday? We are live with the MRC TOR GT3 League, so that's from about 8:30 on Thursday. We're going to be live with the NxtGen boys yet again in the McGann Trophy, and then on Sunday once more with the BMW M4 League. Since when have I had 3 comms jobs on at once? I must be mental. Yeah, he's an alien. He is. He's quick, but he's beatable. He's a nice bloke, Philo. I've got a lot of time for him. Hope I can get back up there in quality. You need to practice them ways, so not drive the wrong way around the track. Cheers, Danzo. See you next week, man. Gonna be quick next 2 tracks. Brands is just gonna all about Brands is consistency. So 1 minute 20 somewhat a lap at Brands. So you're probably looking at about 6, 7, 8 laps. Consistency, mate. Because if you make a mistake at Brands, it's a race ruiner. It's an absolute race ruiner at Brands. So just get your consistency nailed. So Brands is a race you do want to just get a few bit of practice for, especially in the BMW. Because like Surtees, it's just going to step out all the time, innit? Turn 1, you get that front wheel hooked around an apex, and that's it. You span round. So yeah, just be careful with it. But you've shown your racecraft ace. We'll see you all for the next stream, no doubt. Thank you all for tuning in once again. Thanks for those of you that dropped in and dropped a follow or a sub on as well. Really do appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in. See you next time round. Until then, hope your week goes well. See you later on. Bye.